The mid-September sun scorched the Redstone Plains, bathing the 200-acre Texas ranch in a relentless golden glare, the lake a shimmering expanse of molten silver rippling under the heat. Wildflowers clinging to the fringes in defiant bursts of yellow and purple, their petals curling against the dry wind, ancient oaks stretching gnarled limbs like sentinels guarding a timeless legacy. But in the heart of John Parker's cattle pens, dust swirled in choking clouds around his weathered boots as he stood, fists clenched, his Stetson shadowing eyes blazing with fury. The smug faces of the Redstone County Development Board popping champagne corks over a ribbon-cutting ceremony, gleaming steel railway tracks slicing through his grazing land like a jagged wound. Melissa Travers, the board's platinum blonde ringleader, her bob glinting like a sharpened blade, raising a glass with a triumphant smirk. "Nothing you can do, Parker. This is progress." Her voice a venomous taunt, John stepping forward, his growl slicing through the cheers. "You just tripped a wire my great-grandfather buried a century ago. You'll choke on that champagne, Melissa." A sudden gust whipping the dust into a frenzy, Sarah Bennett charging from the barn, rifle in hand. They're ruining the pins, the air crackling with vengeance. The lake's serene glow fading into haze, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. The trouble had brewed a month earlier. John out mending a storm-ravaged fence near the north field, sweat streaking his face, the wind howling as it tore at the wire. When he'd spotted them, a pack of suits with clipboards and hard hats prowling Redstone's edge, Melissa leading, her phone fused to her hand, her sharp gestures commanding, John ambling over. Tipping his hat, "Howdy, what's this about?" Her reply curt, Melissa Travers, president of the Redstone County Development Board, shoving a stack of papers at him. "Announcing a private railway to a tech hub 20 miles west. Boosts property values," she beamed, jabbing a finger at his cattle pens like his Angus bulls were mere scenery, John's voice steady. "My ranch," her smile tightening, "temporary easement, legal, compensated," John's jaw clenching, "compensated for 100 years of blood and sweat?" Urging her to check the deed. Melissa waving him off. "Our lawyers cleared it," patting his shoulder condescendingly, "Don't complicate things, Parker." Frank Hensley watching from the ridge, muttering, "She's trouble?" The wildflowers trembling in the breeze, the plains stretching wide and unbroken, their roots deep in the Texas soil. 2 weeks later, John woke to bulldozers roaring like unleashed beasts. Their engines a guttural snarl, flattening a quarter-acre of prairie, ripping through his fence with a screech of splintering wood, gravel dumped 12 feet into his grazing land. Melissa's lackeys, Trish with her nasal laugh and Dana with her perpetual nod, clapping like trained seals as crews pounded stakes into his soil, John storming from the porch. Coffee splashing from his mug. "What the hell is this?" Melissa is striding over. "Construction's underway, eminent domain light." John shoving her papers back. "This is parcel 4B, my land." Her eyes narrowing. "You'll adapt," Trish sneering. "It's just cows," Sarah joining. "They're trespassing." Melissa scoffing. "File a complaint. See where it gets you." John silent. Caleb's voice echoing from decades past, whittling by the oak. "They'll come for what's ours." We buried the answer. That night, John climbing into the attic, dust motes dancing in the lantern light. Shoving aside boxes of old tack, finding a leather-bound chest inside the 1923 Redstone Land Trust revision. Crisp ink declaring if industrial construction like a railway crossed parcel 4B without approval, ownership of connected properties reverted to the trust after 30 days, John reading it 4 times. Laughter rumbling deep, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Next morning, John hit the county records office, Betty the clerk, her gray curls bobbing. Whistling after an hour, they botched the variance. "This is dynamite," the railway crews doubling down, Trish and Dana arriving with a compliance officer. Finding him for unsightly fencing and livestock odor, John retorting, "It's a ranch, not a spa." Recording every move, every post torn, every smug word. Melissa boasting to a news crew on his land. Underutilized relic, progress demands sacrifice, her clip of future news. 3 days before the 30-day deadline, John sent a certified letter via Lena Carter's legal ally, Sarita, a landlocked shark. Detailing the clause, a 72-hour ultimatum, Melissa raging by the tracks. "This is nonsense." Her phone slamming shut, John crashing a board meeting. sliding a folder to treasurer Tom. A quiet man drowning in regret. You built on a fault line. Melissa laughing. Unenforceable bluff. Tom flipping through, eyes widening. Can we fight? John shrugging. If you've got a decade and millions. Trish hissing. You're nothing. The wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil. The courthouse showdown was brutal. The room smelling of old wood and tension. The judge, a grizzled veteran who'd sparred with John over zoning years ago, dissolving the board's charter, land breaches, fund misuse. Melissa's pleas drowned by the gavel, misled by advisors, her voice shrill. John revealing the trust owned the access road, a crew installing a cattle gate with a keypad. Redstone Trust property, entry by permit, Melissa storming over, $500 permits per household. John quoting her, hey fine, less than your penalties, residents pleading, Steve offering mowing. Old Man Carter up high, Sarah uncovering the board's clubhouse hosted paid events, violating another clause, John seizing it, turning it into the Redstone Community Barn. An open house for fined families, a plaque reading Melissa's misstep, the railway a steel scar, John partnering with a co-op, repurposing it for a produce line, Melissa begging on his porch. End it. John handing her restitution options, her house for sale, the wildflowers enduring, their roots deep in the Texas soil. Sarah dug deeper. Finding a slush fund, kickbacks from railway contractors via Melissa's brother, the AG freezing accounts, subpoenas flying, the board imploding, residents turning, John buying back land. Building gardens, hosting a harvest fest with a pumpkin carved like Melissa's scowl, her seized home now Redemption Ranch stables, the manure cart dubbed Melissa's legacy at Caleb's grave. John poured bourbon, we won, old man, the plains breathing free, headlines roaring, ranch breaks county greed, Melissa in a condo, the wildflowers trembling, their roots deep in the Texas soil.